Okay, here we go. It's update time. I'm just going to go through what I've been working on and yeah, go from there. Right, so first thing is picking, alternate picking. All of these things, by the way, hopefully relevant and connected to the solo what I'm trying to learn by the Cameron Allen, the Cameron Allen solo, always playing over E minor. So this is sort of something that I've been working on as well for like a while because it's kind of part of the same topic. Like my thing that I'm trying to work on at the moment is, I guess, probably like rhythmic clarity. That's what I really want to try and get together. Clarity of ideas, of course, which is just probably like a lifelong thing. But also just being more comfortable with picking generally on the guitar when it comes to playing over. Just improvising using picking, essentially. The thing that I tend to default back to is a lot of legato and economy picking, and that gets the job done. But I just would like to have that picking thing going on better. I also think it's probably going to be beneficial. The better your right hand, the more attack, the more control you've got, and the more synchronization. My theory is it's going to benefit pretty much anything you play on the guitar, right? So it can only be a good thing to work on the alternate picking in the right hand, is my logic. So I'm gonna just go through a couple of things that I've been working on, and I'll tell you the challenges what I'm facing with picking in general. All right, so I'm just going to stick. Well, actually, I'll explain it without the metronome first. So the first thing is just picking on one string. Right, this is something which I've had to go back to and examine, I think, because I've never done that before. I hadn't anyway, so this is a new thing. So I'm just trying to, first of all, just trying to get the feeling on that I'm not picking like right through the string, like these sorts of movements. That's too big, right? So you've got to have a tight feel, I think. I think when you pick, the plectrum only needs to travel just on the other side of the pick and no more. I mean, anything more than that is a waste. I mean, you're gonna have to come back the other way. So just trying to tighten up, really. That's one thing. The way I've been trying to do that is just by playing really, really slowly. I'm just trying to feel the string. And hopefully avoiding any tension. That's the thing. I've got my own theory as to why tension occurs when you're trying to play fast. What I think it is, I'd love to know what anyone else thinks. My thought is that you're basically trying to control the movement, what you haven't taught your hands to properly do. But in a nutshell, that's kind of what I think it is. So, for example, if you're kind of new to the picking thing and you're trying to pick fast, the only way that you're going to be able to get the pick to travel across the string in a fast way is by tensing up, basically, because you're trying to control the movement. The alternative idea to that is to just try and program a small movement in without tension, because that's essentially what you're trying to do. You're trying to execute a small movement, but if you haven't programmed it in, you're gonna have to have tension in your body to do that. That's my thought anyway. So there, you see, what I'm doing is I'm essentially trying to teach my hand to make a really small movement with no tension. I'm just trying to feel where the string is. So the idea is that I should be able to pick fast without tension. That's what I'm aiming for. I mean, there, it's alright. You've also got the angle of the pick. That's the thing when it comes to string crossing and stuff like that. So you can pick downwards. More upwards. Hopefully no tension there, really. I mean, I don't know if it looks tense, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel particularly tense, so Cool. Okay, so that's step one. Right. The next thing is probably just applying that to like some, three note, that kind of thing. So we're just trying to synchronize the hands up together. Just working on things like that. That's what I've been doing. That's okay. It feels alright. Areas which are difficult. When string crossing, the big problem what everyone's got, I think, probably, I don't know, maybe some people don't find it easy, don't find it hard, but I think it's an absolute nightmare. To cross the string, holy moly, there's so much going on with that movement if you really think about what's actually happening, and I think this is what causes the problem when trying to play fast with a pick. So there's four things what I've been trying to do here, right? First one, we've got this. That's the first movement, right? So I go down, up, like that. What that means is when I do an upstroke, there's loads of people online, by the way, talk about this in way more depth. Troy Grady, Cracking the Code, and Chris Brooks talks about it a lot in his books. There's a couple which I've got at the moment which are really good. Alternate Picking, something or other. It's an alternate picking book. And then the other one is speed and coordination exercises, basically, and he goes into a lot of depth about the angle of the pick. And these exercises are basically from that book, So the first one is down, up, down, like that. That's pretty easy because what you're doing, I find it easy because you're going downwards with a downward angle on the pick. That I think is natural because if you're just going to do that, if you're going to strum, the pick's going to be facing down anyway. It's just a natural thing. It's very rare that someone would strum. I mean, in actual fact, you can't do that. It's just not natural. So when you strum like that, it's going that way, and when you go like that, it's going that way. So it's a very natural movement. That's the first one. The next one's the opposite of that. So you go and predictably when we're going that way, the angle of the pick is the opposite direction. And again, this is quite natural because you're descending the line, but you're going upwards towards the sky with the pick in this direction, which is kind of what you'd be doing naturally if you were strumming. So straightforward. Now, here's where it gets hard. You want to go. Now, what's going on there? I'm having to go down, but the pick is angled, so you've got this kind of unnatural movement happening. In actual fact, that's not too bad because I've been working on that a fair bit and it feels good. One way to do it though, you've got to really angle that hand. And then the other thing is the other way, where you go. So what I guess you're aiming for is to have all of those four things feel equally as easy. Is it ever going to feel equally as easy? I don't know, it's something to aim for, right? So I'll do four of each, right? So that's the first one. And then definitely the last one's the hardest out. Right, so what I've done now is I've identified a weakness or whatever, within the picking. And for me, it's going that way with the pick like that. So I'll make a note of that and I'll probably revisit that. So that's just sort of examining what's going on in the right hand. Now, the other thing that I've been working on is just sticking on a backing track and trying to just play some stuff and just come up with some lines over a backing track. So there's a couple of problems which can occur. Play something here, right? That's the first idea, right? That to me is pretty straightforward. because again, it's using that movement where you're going down, and the pick is angled downwards. Right, this is the other thing I've been working on, the other line over this backing track. Basically, what this has just come about from me just wanting to gain fluency, just be able to play anything, right, in the same way that I can try and hopefully do it with legato. So here, right, I'll just try and stick this on two of them. It's actually not too bad today. Maybe I've had a breakthrough moment with that. Anyway, yeah, so it doesn't feel too bad today, which is good. But that's a challenge there, right? You know, doing this. It's like that Paul Gilbert lick, you know, I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. It's just such a nightmare. You know, you've got to do an upstroke there and then come back to the string. I mean, it's not as comfortable and as clean as I'd like it to be, but anyway. Not too bad. I'll carry on doing that and yeah, crack on with that solo as well and post an update.